you were telling us you decided to check yourself into hospital to just get tested to confirm whether or not you were truly pregnant.
That's right. And I was.
Yay.
And I was very confused. My partner was very, very happy.
One confused, one happy.
Yeah. And so we sat down and he told me, he expressed his happiness and we prayed. And then I thought about it and I knew that I loved this man. And so I knew that I wanted whatever he wanted. And so if he wanted to have babies with me,
that's deep.
Then I want to have babies with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's
so the following day, I spoke to a friend of mine. She's a nurse. And she asked me to go and see her. And then we start the antenatal process. And so I went there. I went to work that morning. And then in the evening, I went to my friend.
To the clinic.
Yeah. And so I saw her and we started the process. And my partner was there. So he came to pick me up from work. And then we went to see the nurse. And then we started the antenatal process. So on our way back home, I started feeling some sort of pain.
That same day.
Some cramping pain. That same day. Just from the hospital. I have the purple book that you're given in the clinic. And we're excited. We've started this journey. And then we go home. And I stopped because there were some meds that were prescribed. So we stop at a clinic, chemist to get those meds. And then I start feeling some sort of cramp. So I tell him, I'm feeling crampy. It could be I'm tired, but it's weird. So then we called our doctor. And he said, buy a certain, since you're at the chemist, buy this prescription. So he gave us a prescription over the phone and then we bought it. And I took the first one there and we headed home. So that night, the cramp kept on getting stronger and stronger. And I called him and he said, don't worry. Are you seeing any blood? And I said, no, it's just very small spotting like a brown spot.
Yeah.
So he said, don't worry. Please go to bed. Stay in bed. Please do not move unless you are going to ease yourself in the toilet. Stay in bed. And that's what I did. And eventually I fell asleep and I woke up in the morning in a pool of blood.
Oh, no.
And we rushed to the hospital and then they told me that I am not pregnant.
Wait, the next day?
Yeah. Wow. So after... they did an ultrasound and they checked and they told me you are not pregnant anymore. And so they told me if the test confirmed that you are pregnant, then now it's not there. Then there's only one explanation, that you've had a miscarriage. So we went back home. We were devastated. We were confused. It was literally 2 days apart.
Yeah. Sunday,
yes.
Monday,
and then
Tuesday you went to go, and Tuesday,
we went Tuesday. We had the antenatal, and then this is Wednesday morning. It was so confusing.
Yeah.
So we went back to the doctor the following day, and he said it's so unfortunate, but these things happen. So don't worry about it too much. Just take some time, and then keep trying. It was so confusing. I quickly snapped out of it because, first of all, remember, I wasn't ready.
So you went back to your settings, the settings that you're like, I was told I can't have a child and I wasn't ready. Let's move on with life.
Okay. It's 2 days. So maybe it's that hormonal imbalance thing and the test was wrong.
Yeah.
And your partner?
He was distraught. He looked for doctors left, right, and center and tried to get me to see them just to understand what happened. Yeah. But I told him, stop. It's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah, what's done is done.
But I was thinking about myself at that time. I'm okay. But what about him? He wasn't. And he didn't know what to do. And he didn't understand. But I didn't care. I'm okay. Let's move on. Stop it.
You're trying to protect yourself. It's like a defense mechanism.
I think so. So that's that. We moved on eventually. I can't really tell how he was feeling or what he was feeling. He's the only one who can say that, and how he managed to move on, because I was set to move on. I do not care what anybody else feels or thinks or whatever. So fast forward to a few months later. Like maybe because this was September 15th. So fast forward to December. Again, I started feeling that funny feeling, and I did the test. And actually this time the nurse friend of mine did the test. She was like, let's do this test. I was on my way to work. She insisted, let's do this test. I was going to travel for some work out of town, and so she insisted, let's do this test before you travel, just because you've not been feeling well.
Yes.
And so that's what we did. Stopped by at a mall, bought a test kit, and tested right there in the washrooms. And I was pregnant. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes. I proceeded to work. This time I told her I do not want to start antenatal just yet. Yeah, just give me time to process. Let me go on my trip. Let me come back, and then we can see what next.
Hold on that. If you're just joining in, we are the adults in the room. We're talking to VANENCIA at AKOTH. Why am I missed, bro? VANENCIA. It's because I have a friend called Valencia, so I'm getting confused. VANENCIA AKOTH. And the conversation is, I had 4 miscarriages, but that did not stop me from trying to have kids. Please plug into this conversation and through our social media handles, SpiceFM KE, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you've been going through this journey, sit back, relax, and let's talk. A very good evening to you. If you're just joining in, we are the adults in the room, and it's exactly 9 o'clock. We are talking to VANENCIA AKOTH, and she really has gone through a journey, and that journey today she's decided to share it with you and us. The conversation is, I had 4 miscarriages, but that did not stop me from trying to have kids. Now, VANENCIA, if you're just joining in, let me bring a recap to you. You found that you were expecting a child, and then after 2 days after that, you got a miscarriage. 3 months in, September, October, November, December. Yes, let's say 3.5 months in. Again, you feel some type of way. You decide to take a test, and you were en route for a work trip. And then you buy a kit with your friend, test at one of the washrooms at the mall, and you find out you are expecting. Now, did you tell your partner at this point?
I did not tell him.
And you went for the trip?
I went for the trip, and then I came back and we did another test.
With him?
No. With my friend again.
So now this has become a secret between you and your nurse buddy.
Yes, because I noticed the first time he was delving into things, I didn't want
to disappoint him.
Again,
yeah.
Yes. So I did not tell him just yet until I was sure that I was really pregnant.
Yes.
And then I told him, and this time he was excited. But he didn't show it. Like the first time he was so, like he wanted to even jump up. This time he just held me.
He was very cautious.
Just held me. And then he said, let's say a prayer. And we said a prayer.
Yes.
So I went on with my, just daily activities. Just, what I do normally. And I told my nurse friend, this time just give me a bit of time before I start antenatal. So I went back to work and I did just the daily norm that I do. And then in March.
4 months in.
Yes, in March. Yeah,
Would you like a breather?
It's okay.
If you're just joining in, we are the adults in the room. Plug into this conversation, and you can do so through the stream, www.spicefm.co.ke. So what happened in March?
Yeah.
So one time, going to work, as usual, I come back home and I feel that cramp again.
When the cramp comes, what comes into your mind?
Oh no, it's happening.
Okay.
I've read things on the internet. I know signs of miscarriage, and after the first one, I read quite a bit.
I know.
About yes, so I know how it happens.
In the 4 months, are there times you are thinking, "Oh my God, I hope I don't wake up cramping"?
Why are you whispering?
I mean, the
People want to know what you're saying.
Oh, okay. I'm being dramatic.
I know. That's the problem with you.
So in the 4 months, it's good. At least now to mail check a kidogo. Hey, in the 4 months, would you wake up and think every day, "Oh my God, I hope today I don't wake up cramping"? Did those thoughts overwhelm your mind?
No.
Okay.
I just after the first month, I was good. I was worried the first month.
Okay.
But after that, I was okay. I was like, this is happening. So we are doing antenatal. We are preparing for a baby. I've spoken to my entire family, my mother. So I've told people. And they're happy. And yeah, we're doing this.
Good.
Yes. So everybody, including my partner, has informed, the entire family. So everybody is with us. So we are doing this.
Yeah.
And then...
You wake up one morning.
No, I came back from work.
Okay.
And I started feeling that cramp. But I ignored it. And this time I was in my mom's house. I wasn't at my place. So I'd gone to visit my mother. And that cramping started. And I ignored it, freshened up and went to bed. I knew at the back of my mind what was happening.
But you didn't tell anyone?
No. And so I went to bed. I woke up in the morning. It was still mild, but the cramp was there. There was no bleeding. There was no spotting. Everything was fine.
Did you think of calling your doctor or your nurse friend?
I changed doctors at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, after my first pregnancy, the doctor I was seeing was the same one who told me I couldn't get kids.
No.
So when I went back to him, he was like, these things happen.
Yeah.
And so when this happened, a second time, we said, no, we are not going back to that doctor. So we changed doctors. And I called my current doctor, and he did not answer. And so I just went back to doing what I was doing. So this day, it so happened my brothers were not feeling well, and so my mom wanted to take them to hospital. And I was going to work in the afternoon, not morning. So the whole morning I'm at home, I'm doing cleaning. But sadly, because I know what I'm feeling, and I know I shouldn't be pushing it. So then before we left the house, I started spotting. I told my mom, I'm spotting. I'm not feeling too good. So she was like, because we're already on our way to hospital, let's just go. Call your office and tell them you're going to be late or you're not coming in. So I called and I told them I've gone to see a doctor shortly, but I will see you. So because we were already at the hospital, we needed to make sure my brothers were okay. So we sorted them out first. And then we decided to do an ultrasound because at this point I was in intense pain. It kept on being...
it was gradually increasing.
Yeah. At this point, it was around 4 p.m. I was in pain. So we quickly had an ultrasound at that facility. And then they told me that the baby did not have a heartbeat. Ooh. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I know that feeling. I've been there before. When you're being told that your baby has no heartbeat, you feel like I could grow mad. So yes, my darling, sorry for what happened to you.
Very sorry.
And I'm proud of you that you're still strong and you can share your story.
Imagine.
And people can hear. So when the doctor told you that the baby has no heartbeat, at that point, were you alone or your partner was there?
I was with my mom.
Okay.
My partner was in a different town. He was at work in a different town. And so my brothers were there. My mom was there. I was in pain. And I'm being told my baby does not have a heartbeat. And so they told me, we have to, you need to go and see your doctor, your gynecologist, and just talk to him. I tried to call him. He did not answer.
It was one of those days.
And the only other doctor that I knew was my former doctor.
Yeah.
I called him and he answered. And he told me, come to me now. He was in a different town. He was in the same town as where my partner was.
So they came together.
He told me, come to me now.
Okay.
Oh.
So my mom quickly got us a cab. Remember, my brothers are not well and they're little.
Yeah.
So we all got into that cab and
went.
And on our way,
You were still in pain.
I cannot describe to you. Yeah. So we got there and this doctor had already checked into theatre to help other women deliver. And so I got into his office and I'm told to wait. I'm waiting. And then at this point, I don't know if I'm even allowed to say, or rather to explain to you what happened and give you a picture. But at this point, I stood there in the middle of that facility,
Like a
waiting room. And other patients are there, and my mother is there, and my brothers are there, my little brothers. And then just a huge clot just dropped. I have never been ashamed, embarrassed, sad. I cannot describe to you what I felt at that moment.
Spice.